Ass niggas. Come on back in here, y'all. YouTube kicked me off again. Come on back in here. We had damn near 300 people in the live, and then that shit went boop. If the other chat room is still open, go back up in there and tell people, come over here. This shit just booted the fuck out of me. And it's a nigga named Boot in the goddamn chat room. Did you kick me out, nigga? If the other chat is still open, go in there and say, hey, the nigga live again over here. Nah, it was just the app boot me out. My Wi-Fi good. The app boot me out. The app just closed. What the fuck? What's up, critical thinking? Yeah. Yeah, nah, that shit just booted me out the app. So we back over here. The app just shut down on my black ass. Like, app was like, I'm tired. But we back. We back. We back. Where did I leave off? We were talking about like Whoopi and Oprah and the images that they push. I used to love Whoopi Goldberg too. Sister Act, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Burglar. I used to love Whoopi Goldberg. You know, I rooted for Whoopi Goldberg. Sister Act, Eddie. Eddie was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Sister Act 2. I always rooted for Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, Ghost. I don't really like Ghost that much, but Sherelle, yeah, my grandfather could be not for me. I got this shit that the comedy shit came from within. Probably more my sister, probably from my sister most. Cause me and my sister goofy as fuck when we together. But yeah, I liked Oprah. I mean, I liked Oprah too. I liked Oprah because my grandmama liked Oprah. Like I didn't have no reason not to like Oprah. Shit, my grandmama used to, when I was in the second grade, first and second grade, my grandmother picked me up from school. My favorite year in school ever was my second grade year because my grandmama picked me up from school and took me over her house. Her house is where I had all my fun. I didn't have as much fun where I lived because right across the street from us was goddamn Rodeo Lane Apartments, and the niggas was always getting, oh shit, oh that's cats. Hey, them cats are fighting. I was like, I heard that noise, like, oh shit. That's two cats. Y'all heard that? That shit made me jump. That shit made me jump like a motherfucker. Yeah, they was scrapping. Them niggas was scrapping. One cat had the other one pinned down, and then they got up and started running again. They gone now. But like Oprah, I had no reason to not like Oprah. Remember them episodes of Oprah when she had a KKK on? I don't like niggers, but I like you, Oprah. Y'all remember that? Who remember that? I watched the shit all the time, my grandmother. So I had no reason to not like Oprah. But I remember my wife used to watch Oprah before we got married when we was in college. My wife used to watch Oprah, and she was one episode she was watching, and Oprah. This is like right after Oprah had lost one of the times she had just lost weight, and she was talking about jeans, and Oprah was like, "And for you plus size women who are size 8," and I remember looking like, Oprah, stop it. Just because you done lost a little bit of weight, you calling plus size women an 8 when you know back in the day when I was watching you with my grandmama, you was a size 28. I don't know. I'm in my head. You know me. I study imagery and I study, propaganda and what it does to people's minds. And I remember thinking, nigga, Oprah, 90% of your audience is shaped like Kevin Duckworth. Why would you even say that? All these women look up to you, and you calling plus size women a size 8? Ain't nobody smarter. Ain't, man, Oprah. And I remember singing like in my head, that don't offend me, but most of your fan base is shaped like Mr. Belvedere. And you gonna insult them by saying the size 8 is a plus size. Knowing your fan base is shaped like a 40 ounce. All them white women, they all shaped like 40 ounces. That love you. Them white women love you. But 80% of them are shaped like a 40-ounce bottle. And you gonna say that to your fan base? That's all like, oh, Oprah ain't shit. That wasn't even on a black-white shit. Like, come on now, Oprah. You know the majority of your fan base look like John Candy. And you gonna say that to them? All right. And then it was after that is when Precious came out. And when Precious came out, that's when I was like, yeah, I think I'm all the way off Oprah. What's up, Disco Carol? That was when Precious came out. Precious made me be like, oh yeah, I'm done with her. I'm done with this chick. She's not good. Yeah, and now you got Oprah. You see her looking now. She looking. It's looking that was Ozempic that Oprah's on. Her head is big. You know, like at least Gail got a big booty. You know, if you ever seen Gail, if y'all ever seen a side profile of Gail, Gail got that. Doom 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 doom. Gail got that bass when she walked. That shit. Gail walked. That shit sound like subwoofers. Doom 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 doom. Oprah, on the other hand, she walking around looking like a See's candy sucker. Y'all know them goddamn dark chocolate See's candy suckers? That's how Oprah looking. Oprah looking like Gladys Fright, nigga. Not Gladys Knight, nigga. She looking like Gladys Fright. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She look terrible. I don't know what's wrong with that woman. I don't know what's wrong with that woman. Oprah? I don't know what the fuck is going on with Oprah. What people will do to fit in. What people will do to fit. I don't know who looking worse, Oprah or Lil' Kim. So, but these people are degenerates. Hollywood is a world of degeneracy, man. I don't expect degenerates to be honorable. I think you're fucking crazy if you expect degenerates to be honorable. Fuck. I think you're fucking nuts. I don't think the Oscars are nuts. The Oscars are Oscars. Grammys are the Grammys. I said that on what's his name show, on the Company Man show. Salute to Justin Hunt. I said this to him, like, the music industry is literally built by gangsters, like literally. The gefilte fish mafia managed Louis Armstrong, and his manager got 50% of all of his live performances. Y'all know that? His manager got 50% of everything. And go app tripping again. But y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. He said, yeah, Rip Donny Hathaway. I don't know where that came from. Artist's life, but rest in peace, Donny Hathaway. But like the mafia, like, what's his name? Frank Sinatra was a gangster. Like, Frank Sinatra was more gangster than 97% of your rappers of today. I promise you that. Frank Sinatra was a cold motherfucker. Allegedly. They said bodies dropped around Sinatra, especially young Sinatra. I don't know who controls his estate. I don't know who controls Pop's estate. And some man came TV West. So when you're dealing with an agent with an industry that was literally created by gangsters, that means the contracts are gonna be gangster. That means the award shows are gonna be gangster. They're gonna honor themselves, and they're gonna create rituals around embarrassing you. That's why they made Joe Louis a doorman at Caesar's Palace. Before Joe Louis died, he had a job as a doorman at Caesar's Palace. Course money's going to get tight for most boxers because they're getting their head knocked around for a career. Most boxing's a poor man's sport. Most people who get into boxing are raised by uneducated people who don't know nothing about nothing. Like, Floyd didn't have time to go to school. He was boxing. Yeah. There's something to spend. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. There's something to spend it on. Of course, most people who get knocked in the head ain't gonna. They gonna need to do something. So, Jack Johnson died. Didn't get to old age. He died. But Joe Louis got the old age. Go be the doorman at Caesar's Palace. There you go. Open the door for everybody. Ritual. Yep, gave Cassius the shakes. Yep. That's all ritual. They can't beat you on the basketball court. They can't beat you in the ring. But they can beat the dog shit you out of your ass out of it. So you don't expect anything honorable from dishonorable people. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. A good one, Sinister. That's crazy. Like you, you're not gonna get honor from dishonor. It doesn't work that way. You'll get a mistake every now and again. You'll get some. It's like they had to grit the teeth to get in the 4 wins that they got. They had to grit their teeth for that. But at the end of the day, the Oscars are dead. So they have to show some kind of integrity. Some kind of integrity. If you know what I mean? They have to. Okay, we do gotta be. We do gotta remember this. All lies got a little bit of truth. Not all lies, but the most believable lies. The lies that tend to stick. Your car rattling like a motherfucker, boy. Something needs to get tightened. This nigga driving a mobile death trap. Shit. Hope that wasn't his brakes rattling. That nigga sound like he got a hole in the floor of his car, and he started his car like the Flintstones. Then get off to a running start and conk the key at the same time and start pedaling his feet. Then the car gets some momentum and start going. That shit rattling like a motherfucker. Y'all heard it? Hope the brother get home safe. You know? Just a nigga. You know how niggas is. Shit's still rattling. Damn. Shit sound like when you got your dryer on and you like leave a bolt on top of the dryer. Hey man, I was tightening that TV earlier. I left that bolt on top of the dryer. I ain't got some clothes in the dryer and shit on top rattling like that nigga's car. Yeah, penny in the dryer, yeah. Anyway, yeah, you don't expect morality from immoral people and immoral organizations like I started this off on the first live before this shit got interrupted. The Oscars recognized Roman Polanski last year. The same man who his wife Sharon Tate was murdered, and I think they said he was like out of town with Woody Allen. Like, he happened to be out of town when his wife got murdered on Cielo Drive by the Manson family that he once had in his home and partied and frequented with, and was a part and knew, according to the book Weird Seas in the Canyon, at least a half a dozen other people who were murdered in the Laurel Canyon area around that time. The same man who, according to Operation Chaos and Weird Scenes in the Canyon, the books, said that he recorded smut from his wife Sharon Tate before she died. He would be in videos having sex with her, but mostly recorded videos of her having sex with other men and showed those to guests at their Cielo Drive home. Showed his guests videos of his wife Sharon Tate getting smutted out back in 1967 before she was murdered on Cielo Drive. Look this shit I'm telling you. It's in the books. Roman Polanski. See, to show you the conspiracy of silence and that with that Hollywood crowd, nobody talks about Laurel Canyon in the 60s. They all say Hollywood died in 1969 after the murder of Sharon Tate. They always say Hollywood died a little bit after that time, after the Summer of Love. And there's that whole crowd, from Jack Nicholson to Dennis Hopper to Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Beach Boys, Roman Polanski, Woody Allen. Were never asked about those times. Hundreds of people died during that era in Laurel Canyon. Hundreds. Charles Manson was in the in crowd with those people. He was most definitely in the in crowd with those people. And the murders that captivated America through up until Charles Manson died. Charles Manson just was, the Charles Manson murders happened way before I was born. And I knew about the Charles Manson murders by the time I was 10. It just, I don't know how it is. In chat room, I don't know where y'all from, but let me know if in the 90s and the 80s and the 2000s y'all heard about the Charles Manson murders. I can't speak for other parts of the country, but here in LA, that shit was still big news in the 90s. You heard about Charles Manson. That shit happened way before I was born. I was born in the 80s. Yeah, Helter Skelter. The Haight-Ashbury area. And those people who were around Manson still alive. Even, a lot of them are still alive now. Most of them are dead, but Jack Nicholson's still alive. Like, These people are still alive. Some of them. Roman Polanski's still alive. Woody Allen's still alive. They don't even ask people about that. There is a code of silence. They said in that book, they said, was it James Dean, the one that died young? They said James Dean and Dennis Hopper's were male hookers in Santa Monica before they got on in the early 60s. Dennis Hopper and James Dean used to sell a booty hole over in Santa Monica here in LA before they got on. Harold Lee, he said her ghost appears at the top of a mountain on GTA San Andreas. I think I remember that. Yeah. You can look up everything that I'm saying, but you gotta read books. Everything's not gonna be on the internet. Sometimes now the internet points you to what book to go to, but it would be copyright infringement for them to give you the contents of books. So you gotta buy books for some stuff. So Hollywood has had a code of silence of all this degeneracy. Now, I have heard that we have seen that Manson murders and all that stuff play out through various movies and TV shows. You know, it's funny. You know me, I'm a huge Knight Rider fan. That's one of my favorite shows. That's probably like, it's one of my top 3 shows of all time, Knight Rider with Kit. I still be watching old episodes like Knight Rider 18. And when you go back and watch those 80s TV shows, Hunter, Knight Rider, and you read a book like Weird Scenes in the Canyon, and you read about chaos, and you read about Charles Manson, and in Weird Scenes in the Canyon, they talk about Houdini. A lot of episodes of like Knight Rider was like episodes from like Weird Scenes in the Canyon. Like the Sharon Tate murders, I remember episodes of, these were like episodes of the A-Team. So they kind of told us in the 80s, a lot of those movies and TV shows of the 80s, they kind of told us what happened. But when you go back and read books like Chaos, you be like, hey, I remember an episode. Yeah. All my episodes of Knight Rider, I recorded on DVD. They was on Stars for a while, and I recorded the whole series. Or you said your good mother's friend across the street from the Tate LaBianca house? Yeah, the LaBianca house. You know all about that? Man, the LaBianca house, the Cielo Drive house, it's a few houses. It's like, it goes back to Houdini. Like, Laurel Canyon goes back to Houdini. They say Harry Houdini died under weird circumstances. In the book Chaos, they talk about Houdini was known for when he would go and do his little acts, his little magic acts or whatever. They said that he would actually be on assignment from the Alphabet Agency, and he would pull off like espionage and like international like secret murders while he was doing like a disappearing act. And I remember there was an episode of Knight Rider where the dude was a magician and he was murdering people when he disappeared. I remember when I read that part in the book about Houdini, like committing all kind of like international spy missions during like a disappearing act. I was like, nigga, that was an episode of a Knight Rider. I remember Michael Knight looking for the motherfucker, and Kit couldn't find him on the scanners. Like, hold on, Kit? Even Kit couldn't find the motherfucker. You remember the episode? You remember the episode? Yeah. I'm like, that sounds like the episode of Knight Rider. But no, read Weird Scenes in the Canyon. They're like, or just read the files on Harry Houdini. The fucker, don't listen to me. If you don't believe me, I don't give a fuck. Just go do some research on who Houdini was. You ain't gotta believe me. I don't give a fuck. My ego ain't that big. I don't give a fuck. Take it or leave it. All I care. But if you want to know if I'm bullshit or not, you do your research on Harry Houdini and come back to me with a book report, nigga. So you see up in Laurel Canyon, dog, there was a secret movie studio in Laurel Canyon, and they said it existed between 1920 and 1969. Nobody quite knows when it started. Nobody quite knows when it ended. But it was a movie studio, and it was the only movie studio in the world that had everything in-house. It took everything from the movie set to the film, to editing, the exposure. It created its own film. It had everything from top to bottom. It literally created its own film. It curated everything, and it was a secret place that nobody knew existed until 1991. And the shit is allegedly closed in like 1966 or 65 or 69. They're not sure. But they didn't find out about it until 1991. And it was up in Laurel Canyon, and it had, like they said, people who had access were Walt Disney, Marilyn Monroe, Ronald Reagan. These are all people who were known to have filmed, but nobody knows a single movie or commercial that was filmed there. But it's said to have released over 20,000 films around the world. Between films, commercials, sitcoms, TV shows. It is said to have released over 20,000 films. But nobody knew about it until 1991. And Reagan ended up being our governor and president. You can look up everything that I'm saying. This is what Hollywood is built around. Do you expect morality out of that? This is what the Grammys, the Oscars, these are the people who created the Grammys and the Oscars. Were all in with that. In the book Weird Scenes in the Canyon, between the 30s all the way through the 70s, there were hundreds of murders in Laurel Canyon. Most of them written off as suicide. There was this dude, there was this one person that Roman Polanski and those people knew. I think his name was, there was like somebody's kid. Was it Vito Pelikas? It was somebody's child that they would pay. It was this dude named Vito Pelikas. He had kids and they'd like a 4-year-old that they said they would like pass around, and one of his kids died. They said one story was he fell through the roof. The other story was he fell over a balcony. But whatever it was, the kid died. And Vito Pelikas was somebody who had this dancing crew. I'm drawing a blank to the name of the dancing crew, but they were the Freaks. And the Freaks would be the people on when the Whiskey A Go-Go opened up and they were pushing the Doors and the Monkees and all those bands. The Freaks would come out and dance. And Vito Pelikas and the Freaks was down with everybody up in that scene, including Roman Polanski, Jack Nicholson, and all them. And when his kid died, they were out that same night at the party dancing at the Roxy on Sunset. I mean, the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset. The night that his kid died. And the other kid, it's very sick. There was like another kid that they had that lived that was like in Palm Springs. Charles Manson and them had a house, and some of the people they had a house in Palm Springs, and they had a kid that was like in the box and lived in the Palm Springs, Blythe, on the border of California and Arizona, in Blythe. And they had the kid living like in a box outside and just feeding them water. It's some sick shit these people will do with these kids. And these are stories that are documented. These are files. All these stories in these books come from fucking files. Do you think Penguin Publishing is gonna validate a book with these claims if they didn't have the fucking files to verify what's going on? These are police reports. These books are written from police reports. Ain't no publishing company gonna let no shit go out like that if it ain't verifiable. These are the people running the Oscars. These are the people running the Grammys. These are people who are giving all the budgets for Oprah to do films. Let's let Oprah do a film. She gonna make them niggas look horrible. And them dumb niggas are gonna celebrate Oprah because she's a billionaire. I'm glad we black people are waking up from that shit. We had that shit bad in 2009. All somebody had to do was be touching $1 billion, touching 500 million. Jay-Z, it don't matter what the fuck. This nigga, Jay-Z being a billionaire, Jay-Z owning the Brooklyn Nets made them niggas in Brooklyn get up off their property. Come to find out that nigga didn't even own a box seat. The percentage that he owned, that 1/15 of 1%. Got all them niggas displaced. I'm so glad we waking up from that. Oprah does look horrible. Oprah out there looking like Shai Gilchrist Alexander. I think she gonna fall and flop like that nigga. Get your Oklahoma City Thunder looking ass out of here, Oprah. Oprah ain't shit. And that's why y'all see Monique. Monique still on Oprah's ass. I still haven't gotten my apology. Stay on her ass, Monique. Stay on their ass. Stay on their ass, Monique. Yeah. And good riddance to all them Tyler Perry TV shows. All that shit sucked. Yeah, I know. I know. That's with respect to all the black folks that was employed, but it was only a matter of time. They're not gonna let no nigga ride off into the sunset. They've done trumped up these charges against Tyler Perry, where it sound like he been over there getting his Dwight Howard on. But I wasn't there. I don't know. They're not gonna let the nigga ride off into the sunset. What's up, Jack? Yeah, Tyler Perry getting his Dwight Howard on. They call it the loose booty. Loose booty. Dun, 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 dun. Like, 50 Cent better keep trolling. Cause the minute they feel we not loyal to him, they gonna come take his shit too. But 50 Cent got a whole ass cult. Now, 50 Cent's good right now. Like, he's good. He the new Tyler Perry. He just gives you trauma porn in a different way than Tyler Perry. They both give you trauma porn. That's my wife. They both give you trauma porn. They just give you different kinds of trauma porn. $50 Cent give you updated modern trauma porn. You gotta keep thinking something real over that rainbow. Tyler Perry done got to the end of that rainbow. And he's saying, oh shit, they trying to get me with the Bill Cosby thing, huh? I don't know if Tyler Perry did it or not. That's above my pay grade. But here's the thing about it. They're going after somebody. Here's the thing about it when it comes to Tyler Perry and any black man. It don't matter if you did it or not. Reality doesn't matter. They create reality. The people who run media, they create reality. And I really love Ty Love, I'm not. They create reality. Who remembers that movie, The Toy, Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason? That was my favorite movies when I was a kid. I know every line from that movie from when I was a kid. But in The Toy, there was a scene where Mr. U.S. Bates brought in Mr. Morehouse to the office. And he asked Richard Pryor and Eric sitting there watching. He teaches his son a lesson. He said, you want to know reality? He said, Morehouse, drop your pants. And Morehouse goes, he said, and Mr. Bates said, drop them. And Mr. Morehouse dropped his pants. And Mr. U.S. Bates said, that's reality. That was a real ass motherfucking scene right there. That's reality. Reality is what the people who got the money said is for most people. Because most people buy into that reality. So when you buy into that reality and the way you make money is based on their reality, they choose your reality. And that's reality. You know? Just got this car washed, damn it. Just got this car washed. JFK, no, I'm not in a Section 8 apartment building. I run a Section 8 apartment building. And yes, I do have Section 8 tenants, just not at this particular building. My Section 8 tenants are at the other building I run down the street. Get it right. I don't just live here. I run this motherfucker. So, but no, I do not have Section 8 at this building. But I do have a vet in 2 of the other buildings I run on this block. There's a vet in 2 of my other buildings. I used to have a vet in this building, but he's no longer with us. So yes, JFK, technically this is a Section 8 building because it is Section 8 approved. But my Section 8 tenant went to go see the Lord, and the person that I replaced him with isn't on Section 8, although I did put a request out there to Section 8 if they needed a tenant with 1 bedroom. I got them. But I ended up getting somebody who wasn't on Section 8 in this building. But you can check my 2 other buildings. It's somebody on Section 8 in them hoes. Now back to what we're talking about. I walk up and down this block with my chest out. So he said, I just need 2 grateful niggas that didn't have to slap each other this year. Right. That whole, I'm glad you brought that up. Chris Rock and Will Smith. I heard Chris Rock and Will Smith supposed to be having some kind of sit down. Is that true? I heard they supposed to be having like some kind of conversation on ABC or something like that. Let me know if that's real. That could have just been some fucking meme I saw. But yeah. Chris Rock, I'm not a big fan. I used to be a fan of. I stopped fucking. Let me tell you when I stopped fucking with Chris Rock. I stopped fucking with Chris Rock like that when he made that joke about Janet Jackson. When he made that joke about Janet Jackson was sexually assaulted in this on the Super Bowl in front of the world. She was humiliated. And Chris Rock made her the perpetrator, made her look like the perpetrator when she was the victim. And when, as a black, I do stand-up comedy, although I don't do it regularly. I've always had a rule. I'm never gonna make white people laugh at black people's expense. There's not one joke I ever said on stage at one point in my 8 years consistently doing comedy, 15 years, 14 years overall, but 8 years consistent. I never said one joke that made black people look bad to get laughs from white people. It's too easy to make people laugh, to make us look bad and make us the butt of the joke. On one hand, I got it. It's like, okay, because I heard stories about Chris Rock. Like, it's old stories out there. Like, he tried to date Jada in the past. Chris Rock has made a lot of jokes about Jada. Chris Rock seems, it comes to me as if he probably tried to get with Jada. Jada probably, blew his square ass off. He's the nerd that never got over it. That's what Chris Rock comes. Chris Rock comes off to me as the nerd that never got over it. And Will Smith was tired of it. But at the same time, what Jack said, you stopped expecting greatness from Chris Rock when he pretended CB4 was an original idea. See, when it comes to like Chris Rock and like Will Smith, I get it. You want to stand up, but when Jada let that nigga walk up there and didn't do it, did y'all see Jada's body language? When she kind of moved to the side, kind of just opened, then let him go up there and didn't really. I was like, man. But Chris Rock, Will Smith seems like he under a lot of pressure, Yeah, check out that Berta Bell interview. Lemuel, send them to incenseandashtrays.com. I got a write-up on my Berta Bell interview, and I have the interview linked to that article. So if you send them to incenseandashtrays.com, I do a full write-up. There's a full article on that interview with Berta Bell and the video, so send them over there. But he said Jada Shakur wasn't pleased. Yeah, like, I don't like performing in front of white people. That's just my thing. When I say performing, I mean showing out. When I'm around white folks, I just chill, I don't be distant. I'm engaging with them. They're humans too. It's like anybody else. You got good ones, you got bad ones. No different than anybody else. Just because somebody's white don't make them bad people, or that just because they're Jewish don't make them bad or whatever. I don't give a shit. It's good and bad everywhere. But I understand social and racial dynamics. And just when it comes to a group dynamic point, from a group dynamic aspect, I'm not going to put my group on any spot for their entertainment. I understand perception. We're perceived in groups, although I understand my individualness and I don't apologize for my group. I'm at the same time, I'm not going to do anything that puts a spotlight on my group just for these motherfuckers. Jay should have played lead in Baps. I fucking hated Baps. We live in Baps now. Like, That wasn't the time and place to do it. But it is what it is. For all I know, that whole thing could have been staged. For all I know, I don't know. It could have been staged. I don't believe anything. So Steven, he said, "What up? I gotta show you some." Oh, I'm almost missing live YouTube. Yeah, appreciate that. Baltimore in the building. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, I don't play that shit. We're perceived in groups, and I'm not about to perform for nobody. But again, it's not me. You know, I wasn't there. I can't put myself in Will Smith's shoes. I can't say what I would have done. But for all I know, that shit could have all been rehearsed. I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe anything that I see on the TV screen. I don't. It just because it happened don't mean it happened. MK Ultra. MK Ultra is real. The actors are actors, and they have all kind of shit they can inject in your ass. Go back to that book I was telling y'all about, Operation Chaos. Read those two books in conjunction, Chaos and Weird Scenes in the Canyon. You'll learn a lot. In Chaos, they talk about MK Ultra. They talk about how behavior is influenced. In Chaos, they spend a great deal questioning why going back to we talking about Charles Manson. In Chaos, they spend a great deal questioning why Charles Manson was put in Laurel Canyon. When he got out of terminal, out in jail, he was supposed to stay in LA. But they sent him right to San Francisco to the Haight-Ashbury area, which was a calm, peaceful place. And Charles Manson was a lifelong criminal. Even got caught with a 12-year-old kid right when he got out of jail, and his parole officer let him go. And he goes right to the Haight-Ashbury, causing chaos and confusion. And then he leaves the Haight-Ashbury. All this time he's under parole now. He's supposed to be in LA, but they're letting him live in San Francisco. Then he ends up in Laurel Canyon at the same time as the new rock scene. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, the Grateful Dead. And did y'all know that the Grateful Dead was responsible for introducing acid to a lot of people, including where? Chat room, I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds. I said it the other day, so some of y'all might remember, to tell me where the Grateful Dead spent time about 6 months here in LA. What area? I'll give you a hint. The time they spent there, a riot broke out. There was a place that the Grateful Dead, yep, Watts. You got it, humanes. Right at the time of the Watts riots, the Grateful Dead was spending a lot of time in Watts. And this is after they left Oakland. It's when they came and moved down here to Laurel Canyon. But when they lived in Laurel Canyon, they spent about 6 months over in Watts. Then a riot happened in 1966. The same band known for introducing acid to other bands. Think I'm lying? Look it up. But they said the Grateful Dead spent a lot of time in Watts because when they built the Sunset music scene, there was no music scene on Sunset. The only music scene in LA was in on Central. It was in Watts. It was in Compton. It was in LA. The black area was the only area that had a music scene in LA. See, people be thinking LA musicians and everything benefit from the music scene. No, before there was a music scene in LA, Watts, Central, Broadway, Wilmington, that's where the music scene in LA was. They built all that whole rock scene where people know about Capitol Records and all those record companies moving to LA. All that shit happened in the mid '60s. The recording scene was in Chicago and New York. LA didn't get a recording scene to the mid '60s. The only music scene in LA was down in the hood, black folks. So when they built the Whiskey a Go-Go in 1965 and '66, and when they opened up Sunset to music, they had to go down to Watts and Compton and South Central to learn how to get the shit right. These are facts. Like, these are facts. But right when Watts is getting prosperous and everything is doing good, they send the Grateful Dead, the acid dealing band allegedly, down into Watts, an area that didn't have a drug problem before then. Then a riot breaks out. Right as this band known for passing around acid takes root in Watts. And then we all know about William O'Neill. And these people that worked with these agencies that helped cause the Watts riots. And then now Watts gets burned down, and then literally overnight, the Sunset music scene gets established. In 1963, the Beach Boys were here. They were in Hawthorne, not too far from where I am now. Well, nobody else in LA. Now, all of a sudden, you go from no music scene in 1963 to 1966. You got the Beach Boys, the Mamas and the Papas, Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Byrds, the Monkees, the Doors, Frank Zappa. And they said Frank Zappa was recording on 8-track, on 4-track and 8-track systems in 1961, 62. 8-track recording didn't come out to everybody else until like 1972, 71, 72. Frank Zappa was on that night, 61, 62. How did he get 8-track recording at a time everyone else was on 2-track? His house burned down when he moved out. So all kind of shit around Frank Zappa. All kind of stories about kids being essayed around Frank Zappa, allegedly. And then when Frank Zappa died, Frank Zappa was so tied into the alphabets, and then he runs for like some government position in another country, and then Frank Zappa dies, but they don't announce his death until after he was buried. Did Frank Zappa die? Was Frank Zappa his real name? What's up, So Left Field? I wasn't on G Malone show. Now, I would love to be on G Malone's show. But I appreciate that. I was on the Culture United. I was on Culture United with what's his name, Justin Hunt. I would love to be on G Malone's show, but I wasn't on his show. But I appreciate that. But this shit go deep, y'all. This shit goes real deep. 2 books. Y'all heard your homework assignment. Read Operation Chaos. Read Chaos, it's a red book. And read Weird Scenes in the Canyon by David McGowan. And if you don't want to read the book yet, there's an interview with David McGowan. He's since died about a few years ago. But there's an interview with David McGowan here on YouTube from back in 2010, before he wrote the book. And he's talking about a lot of his research. Go listen to that interview. Go listen to that interview with David McGowan. Look up David McGowan, author of Weird Scenes in the Canyon. He has interviews here on YouTube where he talks about this kind of stuff. Well, that's all good, so left field. I gotta walk my dog, y'all. Go to Band Family Tree. We're gonna get back and we're gonna talk about some more tomorrow, all right? Gotta walk my dog. Y'all have a good one.